Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. It's Local Chat, episode 245. Yes, we're muted during the intro music. I'm sorry for the confusion. I'm your host, Will Crosby. That's Ian Gibson, and that's Jesus Christ.
In
Jason
nomine
Bourne.
Patrae, Filii et Spiritus Sanctus. Amen.
There's a great King of the Hill episode I watched yesterday where Peggy has to pretend to be a nun to teach full-time at a Catholic school, and she learns all of the stuff about the Catholic Church from Latin American action films, and it's very funny.
That's pretty funny, honestly.
Good episode.
That's good.
Folks, we are here
Sorry.
to talk about... Why are you apologizing?
I wasn't apologizing. I was complimenting. I said, good story.
Folks, we are here to talk about
Are you
video
going to
games.
apologize?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's a great story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm looking at a picture of a parrot, and it's got a huge tail. Folks, we're here to talk about video games and all sorts of things. But before we get to video games, we talk about the things that says here in this little chit-chat section. I was on vacation. I vacayed. I shunned out my vacay and went away to the land of the free and the home of the brave, Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
I thought you were going to say, which one's the free state? Is that Rhode Island?
Live Free or Die Hard it's Live
Is
Free
that
or Die
Connecticut?
is
Connecticut?
New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. I only know that because speaking of The Sopranos, there's a story arc in one of the later seasons where one of the guys is like, he's gay and they discover it, one of the mob guys, and so he escapes to New Hampshire and has a gay getaway for a week, and they keep being like, it's New Hampshire, you do whatever you want, you know. Live free or die hard state, and he's like, I love it here.
Live Free or Die. Live Free or Die Hard is the movie, and I always confuse them.
Yeah, well, he ends up getting killed, so he made his choice, you know.
I love Jesus Christ. Yeah, so we went to Cape Cod, drove up last Friday. My brother was out visiting for 2 weeks with my nephew and my niece. I finally met my niece. She's the cutest baby I've ever met in my entire life. I found out my sister-in-law had submitted her for Gerber Baby, and I think she got I don't think she got second place, but she got beat out by another baby, but in the ring. But she had submitted her. I was like, oh, she should have won. She is.
That's pretty cool.
You know, there's some ugly babies out there. I'm not gonna
There are ugly. Yeah, but there's not as many ugly babies as there are ugly people, which means that every ugly person has a point at which they become ugly. You ever think about that?
Well said, Father. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said. Yeah. So it was really fun. We one of the running jokes is there was a hydrangea festival on Cape Cod. So basically, you would submit your house or something, and you could be part of the hydrangea festival. And it was also at Heritage Gardens, which is this place, Gardens place I hadn't been to in a while. But they didn't call it Hydrangea Festival. They called it Hydrangea Fest. So my brother Alexander and I kept going, Hydrangea Fest! And so we kept just walking around, being like, every time I saw hydrangeas, be like, Hydrangea Fest! Because it was just the way it was said just sounds like some sort of rock festival.
Better than Hydra Fest. They could have. You were preparing me to hear a terrible name.
No,
but it's a funny name. Yeah.
It was just quite funny. And that was a good time. But overall it was fun. We went out to Martha's Vineyard for a day. It was a bit smoky out there. That's when the smoke was first coming down. That was fun. Martha's Vineyard, I haven't been there in knowledgeable memory. I think I was there as a kid. And my brother couldn't remember either. So we just noodled around. Karen figured out the bus system, which the buses there are free, which is really nice. So you just hop on the buses, go around. It's a bit touristy there. But we took the fast ferry over, and it was a pretty fun time. My nephew had a good time, and my niece is also a really good baby, so she was fine the whole time, which was nice.
Did you get lobster rolls at Martha's Vineyard?
We did not. I don't like lobster. But we did get a lobster dip, which was basically
lobster dip is good.
A buffalo chicken dip, but with lobster. I don't know if it has the buffalo part.
Yeah.
But I I did
No,
try meat.
but it's the same consistency. It's just not buffalo sauce and it's lobster instead of chicken. No, I just mentioned that because I was listening to a podcast and they had an episode where they went to, there's a church on Martha's Vineyard where I think every Friday night they serve lobster rolls and they sell like 1,500 lobster rolls every Friday night. And a lot of people are like, these are the best lobster rolls I've ever had. And they're just known for it. They've been doing it for decades.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun time. My favorite thing of the entire trip, though, which is a story I have been saving for this podcast. I told it behind the scenes to the Giant Bomb guys, and they got a kick out of it. We were on our way home from Hydrangea Fest, and we were driving my nephew because he wanted to come with us. And so we were talking and stuff, and he was talking about George Washington because he had learned about him on President's Day. And I was like, oh, what other presidents do you know about? He was like, oh, Abraham Lincoln. I was like, yeah, Abraham Lincoln, like the Civil War. And I was like, do you know what the Civil War is about? And he goes, yeah, it's when the whites fought the blacks.
I said, exactly.
And I had to be like, oh, God, well, I'm not in any capacity. I mean, you're kind of right, but you're not right at all. And I don't have the capacity to explain this to you right now. It's like, oh, okay, buddy. Like, well, yeah, it was a war.
To be clear, no. Your next question should have been, that's right. Do you remember who won that war? And then you need to explore his alternative history.
Well, here comes his alternative history. He then proceeds to tell me, Uncle Will, did you know that if that war happened today, you and my dad wouldn't get along since you're white and he's black? For the record, my brother, white, like me, blood
very
related,
white.
Very white, a little bit tan because he works outside, but not African American.
It's so funny. I wonder if in his head he confused black with like Republican, and so in his head he's like Uncle Will's a liberal and my dad's black, which means Republican.
Yeah, but my brother's not a Republican either. It was quite wild. We could not stop laughing. It eventually got to the point where it was like, because we told my brother when we got back and everyone, we were all laughing.
Yeah.
And my brother just walks up to him and goes, I'm not black, Aiden. And then Aiden later on was like, oh, ever since I was 4, I thought you were black. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what do you think this word, like, I guess in his head, he just thinks anyone who's of like a certain darkness of skin darker is automatically black. And it was just very funny because it's a kid. He has no idea what he's talking about. And it was genuinely very funny. And then he kept telling a story about Abraham Lincoln getting lost in a cave and his dog found him. Is that a real? I don't know if that's a real story or one of those like Americana cherry tree stories where they're like, wow.
Why don't they tell the real stories like how Abraham Lincoln was the lawyer on the project that built the first bridge over the river that started the Transcontinental Railroad?
Yeah.
Like I learned that recently. That's a great story.
Or how Thomas Jefferson fucked a lot of slaves. Why don't they tell that one?
Was it a lot? Or was it just one many times to completion?
Well, he didn't know. He was too drunk. He was too busy inventing ice cream. The man loved ice cream. Half of Monticello's about that, and the other half's about being like, hey, can we talk about this now?
Jesus Christ.
It's like,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
very fun. I love when that stuff comes out and there's all those people like, we can't tell those stories. And it's like, bro, the guy's dead. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like, do you have posters of Thomas Jefferson at home? Like, what's going? Like, he was still like a great guy, but not in this one.
Yeah, he's a complicated person. Yeah. I think it's also like I can't remember if I've told you this before, but like this is not to excuse that behavior in any way, but like, do you remember? Do you remember before gay marriage became legal how unpopular it was? Like nobody supported gay marriage. And let me say something. Like this is I have another story after this. I remember this was like 2002, right? And my sister was doing some project for high school where she had to go like interview random people and do like a political survey just to be like, do you believe in this or that? And I remember we're sitting around the kitchen table and she's like, oh, Dad, let me do the survey for you. And one of the questions was like, do you support gay marriage? And this is 2002. And my dad's like, yeah, I do. And the whole family was like, what? Like, it was such an extreme opinion to have in 2002.
Yeah.
And we've come a long way since then. And he was the outlier, not because he was right or wrong, but he was the outlier for supporting gay marriage when most people were just like, oh, I don't think so. You know, it's the status quo, et cetera. And another part of that is I remember talking to my again, when I was young, like 6 or 7, I learned about slavery and sitting around the kitchen table and I'm talking to my family about it. And my mom was like, yeah, it was terrible. And I was like, you know, like, a lot of people owned slaves back then. Like, not everybody, but like most middle class families had a slave to help that out. And I was like, you know, we probably would have had a slave if we were back then. My mom's like, absolutely not. We would have not tolerated that at all. And I was like, are you sure? Like, it was common. And so I think it's one of those things where people are applying like modern ethics and morals to a completely different worldview where there were things that were just, you would have been the absolute outlier in Thomas Jefferson's age to be like, oh, we don't need slaves. We shouldn't do slaves. You
Not
know?
to get
It's
into
like,
it.
no, it was normal. It was bad, but it was normal.
I mean,
you know?
yeah, that's everything from something horrible like slavery to something more normal.
Yes.
Like not supporting. I mean, not supporting gay marriage, but like that sort of
But
stuff.
let me
Like everyone, it was the
clarify real quick.
zeitgeist.
Just real
you
quick.
know?
Now, fucking your slaves. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Oh,
I'm going on record here.
Let's go on the record then.
Owning your slaves back then, unfortunately tolerable. Fucking your slaves, absolutely not. Inappropriate.
So we stayed at my aunt's house, which was nice. And we were watching. It was that Finding Your Roots show, which I genuinely enjoy, but I never watch it. And it was one of the. Well, this isn't my point, but it was one of the girls from Sister Sister, one of the twins, and it turns out on her mother's side were came over as slaves, and the people on her father's side came over as slave owners. So she was like this mix of like both sides of that whole stuff, and they were really exploring it and like going back through her past. It was so interesting. But the other side is they were talking to Billy, who I've always said his name is Crudup, but it's Crudup, the actor, and his family had owned slaves, and I mean, obviously he was a Southern family who's been there for generations, but they really got into the interesting thing when after the Civil War, when the South was like, oh, hey, let's change that narrative where it's like, they were part of the family. They loved, and like that whole aspect, which like, not saying I didn't know that, but like that thing, even from learning in school, like gets shattered. You're like, oh yeah, that is like a big propaganda thing they were trying to push.
It is,
yeah. And you're like, yeah, they were treated so good. They were just part of the you're like, whoa. So yeah, that stuff is super interesting. And going back to the Monticello stuff, I hate, like, what's the point of sugarcoating it? It's like same with those that Young Washington movie coming out, or that Hershey movie, where it's just like, I don't mind if you make a hopeful movie, but just don't call it like The Person, you know? Like, just make a hopeful movie. I'm fine with that. But if you like want to dig into the details of these people, there's no way Hershey was like talking to a guy and being like, we can't let the children work in the mines. They need chocolate. It's like, come on. Of
course not. Yeah.
Come on, guys.
It's always a better story, and humanity is always more interesting because of the complexities of us, not because of black and white moral situations, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of black and white moral situations, Karen and I watched The Backrooms last night. And by last night, I mean during the day, because Will get scared easily. It was good. I don't know much about the Backrooms lore, but I very much enjoy, like, my thing with that is like House of Leaves. Like the room that just keeps extending and stuff like that. My one issue with Backrooms, which I think people will probably disagree with me on, is I think the Backrooms themselves are creepy. I don't think they need monsters in the Backrooms.
Well,
I think things can be there, like creatures and stuff, but I don't think.
I think you're right,
and that changes in the movie. That's not like there's not like a thing there hunting everyone. But so it is a little more a little more complicated than that. But I think the thought of getting lost is what terrifies me and creeps me out, and thinking there's something there. I really like liminal space and that sort of stuff. So on that aspect of the movie, it really grabbed me. That stuff is so interesting and cool. Um, the movie itself, the storyline, like they were really trying to connect some like mental health stuff with some other things, and I think it worked in some areas, but it I think the
Will
third
hates
act
mental health.
Yeah, I hate mental health.
Know,
I think the third act fell apart a little bit, where it was like the first two acts were pretty great, and then the beginning of the third act, you're like, oh, this is where it's going. And then I didn't quite see the connection between a character from the second act to the third act. I was like, I don't know. I sort of see it, and there's a bit of a reveal, and you're like, oh, okay. But in my mind, I really wanted a Backrooms movie that was... I was saying to Karen, that was a 90s SG-1 movie. Like, they went through the Stargate portal, SG-1 episode, sorry. They went through the portal.
Cube. Have you seen
I've seen Cube. I like Cube. I just want SG-1 to go through a portal into the back rooms, and it's a whole episode of like them going through it and everything.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I feel like if this happened, I would tell everyone about it, and we would all go in and be safe and love each other.
But I think that's that's part of it, though, is that terrifying. Like how you react tells a lot about your person.
I didn't hate it. I think I gave it 3 stars or 3.5 on Letterboxd. Overall, I enjoyed it. I don't think I would watch it again, but if they made another Backrooms movie, I would watch that. They hit on the little side of, like they explored a little bit the bureaucracy side of it, which was cool, and sort of hinted at there being more back rooms, which I also liked. But the ending was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna reveal things, and then it kind of ended, and you're like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, for a movie based on that short, directed by the same guy who directed the short, who's I think like 21.
Yeah, he's pretty young, and he's directed like a whole lot of shorts.
Yeah,
on YouTube
and Chiwetel Ejiofor, I love so much.
He's
one of my favorite actors. Everyone was good. It was fun and campy, so I recommend it.
I have not seen this movie, but Chiwetel Ejiofor, I'm so excited to watch him in this movie because I'm pretty sure in every other movie I've watched, he's either a famous person or like an extraordinary normal person, whereas in this one, based off the trailer, he just seems like a real fucking normal person who's just like, I own this furniture business, I'm trying to make this furniture business work. And I just love the idea for some reason of that actor just playing a normal flawed person, because I feel like he's never really done that before, you know?
Exactly.
And I'm like, give me that.
That's the side of it they get into. Like his flaws, I feel like they get into a little too much. But like part of me just wants like some fucking rural Kansas 7-Eleven own, or like not 7-Eleven, but like mom and pop gas station, like them to have back rooms and just have like this guy stumble in and be like, well, Ma, I don't know what's going on in here. Like that would be way funnier, I think, in a cool movie. But Chiwetel, like they complicated his character in a sort of annoying way where I think it's trying to be deeper than it actually is. And I think if they toned that back a little bit more, the movie could have been more rewatchable for me. But those character arcs in that movie, I don't want to watch over and over again. It's kind of like slightly annoying. It's like a one-time viewing. So that's why I say like I'll watch more of these movies because I like backroom stuff. And now I'm sort of interested in exploring that lore, because to me, Backrooms has been around forever. Not just that guy's movie and stuff, and it has been, but I think I'm conflating it with
the niche genre.
I'm conflating it with like Liminal Spaces, again, House of Cards.
Yeah,
I think, I don't think House of Leaves would be a great movie or miniseries, but I think it a VHS tape he watches? I think the story inside of House of Leaves that the guy is reading would be a good miniseries.
It's a documentary.
It's a documentary. That's what it is. I think that documentary would be a cool thing to be like, oh, here's the actual documentary. Don't make the House of Leaves miniseries. You know what I mean? Like, don't explore.
Don't make the frame story. It's just the documentary that they did. Yeah, they could totally do that.
So that was really fun. And then after that, I watched Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. Which
one is that? Because
that's the second one.
That series has the worst naming conventions because.
First movie.
There's no like it happened, it's happening again, it's the final happening. There's not even that type of structure, you know.
First movie's fantastic. Curse of the Black Pearl is genuinely probably a pretty perfect movie.
It's great.
And it doesn't. And then 2 is where they're like, we're setting everything up for all this stuff, and it's a little long, but it's a fucking great movie because there's great set pieces, and Davy Jones still looks awesome, and it's incredible. And then 3, I remember being a little more fantastic. It's funny. I was like, in my head, I was like, man, 3 got so fantastical with like Calypso and all that stuff. I forgot 2 just has all the undersea people, and then 1 has all the skeleton people. So they really weren't messing with reality that often. But at the, I only like 2 a lot because the very end, spoilers for Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest, is when they reintroduce Barbossa, where he comes down the stairs at the end, and he's like, what's becoming my ship? And I fucking love Jeffrey Rush, and I love Captain Barbossa, so I pop for that every single time.
Amen.
Which he's obviously in the 3rd movie, but he's also in the 4th and 5th movie, and those plots I do not remember. I know
there are 5 movies.
There's 5 movies.
3.
There's there's Curse of the Black Pearl, Dead Man's Chest, At World's End, which is the trilogy, and then there's On Stranger Tides, and
I know I've seen the first 2. I don't know if I've seen all 3.
On Stranger Tides, and then there's Dead Fuckers or something like that. I can't remember what the last one is. That's the one.
Then there's Stagnetti's Revenge.
Yeah. It's good. Like they're all, the first 3 are all good. Like great movies.
Yes.
Especially, I love how with every movie they expand more. Where they're like, okay, here's the second movie. We're gonna have like other types of pirates in here. We're gonna go to like Calypso, and her stuff is like the Bayou, Louisiana. We're gonna go to Tortuga. There's like there's some of
Bahamas.
Like the Dutch East India Trade Company's in, so there's like guys from India on the crew and stuff like that. And then the 3rd movie's like, oh, now we're going to Singapore. Here's all the Chinese pirates. Like, I like that they.
Do they have the Pirate Queen?
They do have the Pirate Queen.
I think it's too late.
Because I think.
I feel like the Pirate Queen was like the 1300s, though, wasn't it?
I think Keira Knightley's character becomes the Pirate Queen. Maybe?
See, that's not right. There's a Dollop episode of the Pirate Queen where it's crazy.
Pirate Queen.
Yeah, but long story short is the Pirate Queen, I believe, was a Chinese woman who became a pirate and then like took over pirates and ended up with a fleet of like, I want to say like 400 or 500 pirate ships. It was just like dominating the area as the Pirate Queen.
Yes.
That's great. I think I've been rewatching / watching for the first time the whole Bourne series, and there's 5 of those, and I have the last one left. Some of them are better than I remember, some of them are not, but again, I think it's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean, where it's like none of them are terrible. Well, I haven't watched the 5th one yet, and I think I kind of like that because it's like once a month or so. I have those, and once a month I'm like, all right, time to watch the next one. And I already ripped the Blu-ray for the first 2, so I think I may just rewatch all of those.
Your next one
rewatch at least the first 2.
Jason Bourne is the last one, right?
I think it's Jason Bourne, the Matt Damon recent one.
Oh, I'm so happy you get to see Jesus Christ as Jason Bourne. That's best line read from the movie. It was also in the trailers.
But it's no, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. I believe that's in like, it's not in every movie, but I've already seen it several times.
Oh, it is a line
in previous ones.
But the one of that character guy saying it, I think, is in the 5th one.
Even the Jeremy Renner one
with my friend Nathaniel. What'd you say?
Yeah, sorry, not to go into it too deep, but I thought it was going to trail off because just based on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 1 is great, 2's okay, 3's okay, 4's terrible, and 5's great. But even going 1 through 4, even the 4th one, Jeremy Renner one, was still, it was okay. It wasn't terrible. It definitely is not as strong as the others. So I'm like, I'm actually kind of not as disappointed with the series as I thought I would be. Well, I'm not ecstatic about it, you know.
Yeah, like 1, 2, and 3 are the trilogy, and then they're like, we need to keep making Jason Bourne movies, so they made it's same with Pirates of the Caribbean.
They came back a couple of years later and did Renner.
And they're like, we need to do more. But yeah, I remember 3 being too shaky for me in the theaters. I remember getting motion sick.
They're all pretty shaky, but I think they get a pass for the first couple ones because they kind of, I don't want to say they pioneered, but they popularized it.
For sure. I just remember 3, distinctly remember 3 in the theaters being nauseous.
Too shaky,
but Karen and I watched 1 like a year ago, and then I haven't put on 2 and 3 yet. We always do that where we're like, let's watch the first movie of a trilogy, and then we don't watch the other two.
I just again, I don't mean to go in this too well, but I think the Bourne movies, I don't think they're aging that well. They're not aging poorly, but it is a little bit of going back and understanding spy movie, that amnesia concept, that shaky cam, the action popped at the time, but going back to it, it just doesn't quite hit as well, and the story is just a tad weak. So not that they're bad, but I think they're aging downwards instead of upwards. If that makes sense.
Good books? I've never read them.
I don't know. Probably.
They're
really hard to read because the pages are all shaky.
I've really been suppressing the urge to reread the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo books, because those I remember being quite good.
I never read those. I should read those.
And I really like that Fincher movie. I need to watch the Swedish ones, but I don't dislike Naomi Rapace. She's a fine actress. I just don't like her. I don't know why. You know, when you just like don't like an actor, I just don't like her. And I'm sure she's a lovely person and she's good at acting. I just don't want to see her in a movie, and I feel bad.
Just don't want to look at you.
I think that's the Prometheus effect, where I just disliked that movie so much.
No, you did not dislike that movie. You judged it correctly, which is it's a piece of shit film.
I know, but it's so pretty. It has good music too.
So what? I know. Like, yeah, that gets you up over here, but everything else is trash about that.
You wait for the fucking Prometheus redemption arc, like the fucking prequel.
It's never gonna happen. The prequels deserve it, though. To be clear,
they can be loved movies. They're still bad movies.
They're not bad movies. That's the thing.
Shut up. You're an idiot.
I'll say at least the first one. Nothing against the others, but the first one, it feels like the most misaligned. The most maligned, but it does not deserve it.
Yeah. Speaking of being in a piratey mood, you could be moving to pirate. Ian, do you like pirates?
I do. But hey, first of all, I don't mean to bring the mood down, but I have a little bit of a PSA, this is one of those personal things where I was like, man, do I really want to talk about this? But it's going on in my life, and it's impacted Subpixel schedule a little bit, at least this last week. And it feels like one of those things where I have at least a small platform here, and I need to say a PSA as part of this, which is that, so last Saturday, my sister and her family were involved in a high-speed head-on collision with a drunk driver. Everybody's okay now, relatively okay. It was my sister and her husband and their 2 kids, and they had 2 dogs in the car as well. And my sister and the 2 kids are out of the hospital now. They have bruises. My niece has a fractured pelvis and has a walker. God. The dogs, I ended up having to drive down and grab the dogs, because a Good Samaritan grabbed the dogs from the accident scene and gave their information, because all 4 people ended up in ambulances going to the hospital. And one of the dogs is okay. The other dog, unfortunately, has a spinal fracture and has to be put down. And my brother-in-law has been in the ICU for 5 days now, and he just got out of the ICU a couple days ago. And he had a spleen rupture and 5 broken ribs, and his foot's broken, and he's going to be at least somewhat disabled for the rest of his life, and he's got a long recovery ahead of him. And it's we're dealing with it as a family. I'm helping out where I can. It's a pretty messed up situation, but I feel like I need to say it, because don't drink and drive, folks. Just fucking don't. There's kind of 2 components here, which is that the guy was very drunk and high, and he was also driving 100 miles per hour in the rain, and down like a country back road. And at some point he lost control, crossed the barrier, and just slammed into the car. So don't drink and drive, and don't drive recklessly. If you're going to drive recklessly, do it by yourself in the middle of the night. And if you're going to drink, don't drive. Just don't fucking do it, because it's very tough for my family right now trying to deal with that. I mean, we're doing a pretty good job of it. Like I said, nobody's dead, but it's a long recovery. And the community's been great in coming out and helping support the family and everything. But don't drink and drive. Don't drive recklessly. You think you're okay, you think you're fine. Oh, who cares? So what'll crash my car? And it's just one mistake that can just like completely screw up an entire family, and it could have been much worse. And even as thankfully as how it turned out with nobody dying other than one dog, it's still pretty tough situation. So that's my little PSA. Sorry, I don't mean to bring things down, but
It's okay.
Not
funny. Yeah, that's
no, I know it's funny because it's like
sorry.
I was like, I really should talk about this, but like, how the fuck do I transition to this? Speaking of pirates and drinking, don't sip and sail, folks.
Don't sip and sail. I am not to belabor this, but I won't like if I've had any drink or smoked anything during a day, I will not want to operate something until I've had a sleep. That's how like paranoid I am.
For me, for me, it's like 5 hours since I finished. Like, I don't care about legal limit in the good way, where I'm like, I don't care if I'm under the legal limit. I'm not gonna operate
paranoid. Like, for sure. Yeah. Fuck. Don't do that, folks. But sailing, that's legal. Sailing's legal.
Yeah. So I've been playing a lot of Black Flag, Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, which is a remake of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I had to confirm recently that it does have 4 in the original title, which is kind of funny. Like, I didn't expect it to have 4 in the original title. If you can confirm it for me, because I always thought it was a side game. I didn't realize it was technically a mainline game.
It is a mainline, because then people were like, well, technically Kenway's not, like, he's not an ancestor. It's like the other person. I wasn't checking that, but I'm also more curious which ones have numbers.
I think it stops after Black Flag, I believe, because there's no
Assassin's
5.
Creed. I mean, I'm not going to mention the side games. Assassin's Creed 2, then Brotherhood, Revelations 3. Yes, you are right. 4 Black Flag. Then
that was kind of surprising to me.
And then it's Rogue, Unity,
but anyways,
Syndicate, Origins.
I'm not going to talk about this too much, because I'm actually putting together a piece for Patreon that's going to go up next month, where I'm going to be talking more about it's not going to be a review, because I've actually stopped playing this game. I've played about 14 hours of it. But long story short is that I totally get why people really liked this game when it first came out. And maybe you can help me understand this. This feels like the first. I've only played a little bit of 1, seen somebody play 2. I never saw anything for 3, but 4 feels like the first time they really established their go forward Assassin's Creed open world formula. Like it was open world before that, but this feels like the first time they've really set up like, hey, here's how we're going to implement towers, and here's how we're going to implement different objectives, and we've got different side things, and there's always some sort of transport thing you can do, and everything after that has always just been building on that same system. And the games before it had pieces of it, but this feels like the first one that was like, boom, this is the cookie cutter. Is that right? Does that feel right? Because you've played more of them than me.
Yeah, I recently replayed 1 and 2 like 3 years ago, and 1 is a completely different video game, which I still recommend.
Yeah, 1's pretty linear.
I really like 1. 2 is where they really solidified all the stuff for the rest of the series, but that one, like you're saying, it's not a seamless open world. It's different areas you're going to, but that's where they were like collectibles, more of like the synchronizing stuff and changing up a lot of things. 3 I've never touched, because at that point Brotherhood and Revelations had come out, which I also hadn't touched, and then 3, it was weird. I really wanted them to explore more of the future stuff, and they kept doing the past stuff, and I was like, oh, lame.
Yeah.
I was one of the few people who played Assassin's Creed 1 not knowing any of the, I shouldn't say few people, but I didn't know about any of the future stuff in it, and so that really
and that future stuff is a surprise. But I don't even think they had any of that shown before it came out. I don't think it was marketed.
Yeah. But Black Flag for sure. I played that in college, and I remember just like, holy shit, this is awesome. It's like,
yes,
nailed this.
Yeah, and it's nothing against that. It's just that this remake, how do I put this? I don't think it's a bad remake. I don't think it's a good remake in a way, because like a lot of the reviews are saying, and again, I didn't play the original, it's very similar to the original. And so the problem is, talking about Jason Bourne, you have something that felt like an evolution at the time, but we're now what, 12, 13, 14 years later, and you're going back and playing basically the same thing, which has now been done dozens and dozens of ways in that series and in other series and on other franchises, etc. And so it's like, I can fully appreciate why it hit when it did, but they did not really do enough in this remake to and again, I'm not expecting them to make huge changes, but it's almost like it's like there's a lot of people that don't like Citizen Kane. And part of the appreciation of Citizen Kane is a good movie, but part of the appreciation of Citizen Kane is recognizing what it did first and what it pioneered. And it can be hard to recognize that because of how much that pioneering has been reused over and over again. So that first taste doesn't hit as hard as it did when the movie first came out. Mm-hmm. And I think it's the same thing with Black Flag, because it is a lot of fun. And it is the Assassin's Creed formula, open world formula, but in pretty much all ways, everything is implemented very, very well. You know, like I played Origins and I played Odyssey. There's ships in Odyssey, and the ships in Odyssey didn't feel that good and didn't feel that fun. There are ships in Black Flag, and it feels much better. Like it's the same quote unquote implementation, but it's just better implementation of it. And I think that's what Black Flag is doing. But at the same time, it's a lot of map barf. I'm really struggling with the collectibles because there's just like fucking why. Like sorry, I know. Let me just explain, right? So they have these Mayan puzzles, and you like sit on a pillar, and then it presents a shape, and the shape, it's like a hologram, and the hologram has 3 shapes on it, and you have to rotate it to match the pillars. And I played that and I was like, it's a real lame ass puzzle, but maybe it's just the tutorial. No, every single one of those puzzles is the same. It's just, you just got to rotate and expand the image until it matches the pillars. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, what do I get if I go around and collect all these? There's only like 30 of them, and they're pretty easy. And you get a Mayan costume.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, I don't even think it gives you any benefits. And I'm just like, okay, well, maybe I won't do that collectible then. And then there's another one where they're like, you go to your hideout and they're like, oh, there's this locked door and it's got 5 keys. And then they're like, there's 5 keys around the map, and each key is in like behind it. I think each key is behind like a little side quest. And I was like, oh, and I did like half of one of them, and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting, but like, what does it get me? Gets you a key. Okay. And then what happens when I get all 5 keys? Well, you open the closet. What's in the closet? Another costume. Fucking what? Like, I don't know. I may be wrong here, but I'm pretty sure the costumes don't have like attributes. And even if they do have attributes, they're minor attributes. You know, it's not like it's going to be like, hey, you now have this awesome, crazy skill because you unlocked this costume. So it's weird. Like a lot of these collectibles and stuff, a lot of the map barf is tied to cosmetics or useless minor upgrades. And it's like, okay, well, the collectibles are not well implemented, so I'm not enjoying collecting the collectibles, and the reward is not really worth the collecting. So the more I played the game, the more I looked at this map barf, and I was like, no, I don't like that map barf. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. I don't, and I'm just like, this map is basically empty for me now, right? And I was having some fun on the main quest, and I do enjoy the ship combat to an extent. But the problem is, because I'm mostly doing that, I'm 12 hours into the game and my ship is like 80% upgraded. So it's a big game and there's a lot of stuff to do. But when you actually look at it and start playing it, you're like, actually, there's very little here that is enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And it's just a little frustrating for me. Again, I don't think it's a bad game. I think it's a little bit of a weird remake because they're just not really doing enough to expand. They really should have rebooted it, honestly. I know that's a much bigger project, but I would have really appreciated if they made a brand new Assassin's Creed and really changed things out and really came at it fresh. And it could have just been a sequel. It could have just been Black Flag 2, you know, Kenway's Kid or something. I don't know. You know, just come back 20 years later. And again, that's a huge project. That's a big ask. But just remaking the game that you made before, and you're not making significant changes, and you've been using that previous game as a formula for all the games between now and then, it's not a worthwhile artistic or mechanical endeavor. It is economically because they're selling like crazy, but it's just not. You get what I'm saying? I'm kind of all over the place here, but
I think this is also where, to be fair, this game is not called a remake. It's called, they've made up a new word called resynced, which is fun.
Yeah, but sorry, not to get into our chart, but it is a remake by our definition, right? Because they're kind of building a lot of it from scratch. They're reusing original assets, but it's new code and all this stuff and new engine and
I think when I think remake, I think of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 2. Like those are like remakes of the original games. They're taking the story and they're building everything up.
Those are very good remakes.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Whereas I'm saying this is a bad, but it's still a remake because they're building enough of it from scratch, fresh.
Right. And what I'm saying is this to me is a remaster, because they have taken most of the things from the original game and kept them in this new version.
But I would say it's funny because there are fans of the original that don't like this game because it's not enough of a remaster, because they're like, hey, it doesn't feel as good. You removed a bunch of mechanics, like the parkour doesn't work right, the combat doesn't work right, and so for them it's not close enough to the original.
I know, and that's what I think the big problem with this is. They couldn't decide what to do, so they just met in the middle and made this game. And
the more I think about it should have been Black Flag 2. They should have just made a sequel.
Would you have liked this game in 2013?
Yeah, I think so.
You think so?
I mean, 2013, it's yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to put myself in that place. What was that time and moment? Yeah, I think so.
Because to me, collectibles in a video game it's the way I play video games, which is different for sure. Like collectibles for me in video games are never about what you get. I just did them and then got the thing. Like when I replayed Assassin's Creed 2 years ago, like I did all the most of the collectibles other than the feathers. The feathers, fuck you.
And I don't disagree, but was it fun for you to collect those?
Yeah, and that's because I have a satisfying collector's grabbing that.
And in these,
and I think that's
in these, a lot of it is. I think in these, like the shanty feathers, they're shanty songs. They're on rooftops,
you chase them
or wherever, but you have to chase them. And I'm like, that's cool, right? I've done a couple of those. I don't like it, but I can at least appreciate like that's a cool collectible. But the fact that like some of these, like the Artemis keys and whatever, it's just like, oh, they're just on the island in a random place, and as soon as you pop the viewpoint, then you just have to go there and touch it. And it's like, why? The Mayan puzzles, they don't get more difficult as you go. They don't get any crazier. They're not complicated. It's just a 20-second detour. And it's like I'm totally fine with these collectibles. Just do something interesting with them. So the collecting is fun as well as the reward, or at least one or the other is fun or rewarding. And with this, it feels like it's, for some of these, it's not. It's neither.
And that's definitely the thing left over from 2013, where it's like, that was cool. And like, we're introducing collectibles in 2013 and they're not that crazy, but here's the cool stuff you're getting. Versus now it's like, oh,
now they need to do more. They should have done more.
Exactly. And that's the other part where I'm like, okay, that part was just remastered, not remade, and that's where I think this is falling in so many different categories, where like, to me, that's like, oh, I'm going to go collect things because I like collectibles. And I don't care what the prize is, and I don't care what the collectible version is. Like when I stumble upon a great collectible, obviously you like it. But neither of those sides of the coins affect me because I'm just like collectible. But I was wondering, you don't have to answer this now if you want to think about it. Do you have a favorite collectible in a
7
game?
inches. What?
You have an estimate of how large you're...
A favorite collectible in a game.
Like, what game has collectibles that you liked collecting? Like, have you liked collecting something in a game?
Put that in my pocket, and when you talk about your games, I'm going to zone out and think about that.
Perfect. Yeah. Dead eyes. I'm still looking forward to playing this. I have it on PC. It's fucking Ubisoft Connect. And
I will say, I have it on Ubisoft Plus Premium, which means I have PC and console. I don't know if you've tried playing it on your PC, but I can't play it on my PC because there is some weird hitching frame stutter issue that hits like once every second.
Yeah.
And
you have a bad PC.
And I went on Steam. Well, that's the thing. I don't have that bad of a PC because it's weird. It runs at 60 FPS, except for one time per second it stutters. And I went on Steam, and there's a forum page that's like 30 pages long of all these people being like, "I've got a i9 17,000 and 20,000 gigs of RAM, and I have this problem." And there's like, and some people are like, disable hyper threading. You got to disable these cores. And I was trying these weird things, and it still just stutters. So it's like I don't know how well it plays on PC because it has some weird little issues on PC, but on Series X it's totally fine.
You also have made up issues with Unreal Engine 5, so maybe it's just a you thing.
I don't think this is Unreal Engine 5 though. It looks and runs too good to be Unreal Engine 5.
Every time an Unreal Engine 5 game comes up, you always have issues with it. Your issues are valid for 100%.
It sucks.
But I've never noticed them ever, and it's just funny because every time we talk about it, I'm like, "Oh, I have no idea." And I think that's just because I don't notice them, but it's just funny to me.
I wish this was an Unreal Engine 5 because I'm going to be like, oh, it's fucking one of those. But it's not. Like, the game literally, like, I dialed in the settings so it looks and runs great, except for you spin the camera and it hitches. Yeah. And it's just like, fuck.
I booted up. It was me with ghosting forever, or TSR. Like, TSR still pisses me off.
Yes.
But I loaded up the game, and it loads in that fucking stupid-ass chronological launcher thing. It took me... 10 minutes to figure out how to start Black Flag. I could not figure out how to start the game.
Well, okay, just real quick. This is related. If you hit the start button while you're playing the game, it pauses the game. If you then hit the start button again, it takes you into that Assassin's Creed launcher with like season pass shit. So like I end up in there every time I play. I always end up seeing the season pass in that launcher shit because if you hit the start button twice, it doesn't open and close the start menu. No, it opens the start menu and then goes into their bullshit.
So
and it's like
my options. Because I'm lathered in money, of course. I would like to purchase 1 month of Ubisoft Plus Connect Suck Me. And play it on my
Let me just
Xbox.
say something real quick. I know you like old games. You have no problem playing old games. I do not think you need to play the new version of this. You already have it on Game Pass. That's the thing.
Well, so my other thing is I also just own it, the old version on Xbox and on PC. So I could either play it on my Steam machine or play it on my... But the problem is I'm also extremely curious about this game. So I think this is what I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to wait a couple of years and it'll be like $10.99 on some sale, and then I'll buy it.
No, before then, it'll drop from the Ubisoft Plus Premium catalog into the Ubisoft Plus catalog. So it'll drop into Game Pass at some point.
Yeah, so I'll just wait for that.
And if you can't wait for that, I would try and go find somebody. There's got to be somebody who actually put together a list of like, here are the actual changes, because I do think there's a couple extra quests and things. But
I know they got
for the large part. I think the biggest change is the graphics, and honestly I don't think it is a straight graphical upgrade. Like, there's plenty of people who prefer the old style of the graphics to the new style, and so you could be totally fine with the older style graphics.
I have no issue with that.
So yeah, and that's what I told my nephew. Asked me, he was like, it's like, hey, I was thinking about buying this, should I get it? And I know he's a little tight on money, and I was just like, hey, I mean, I think he played the original, and I was like, no, you don't really need to play the new one. Like, just play the original again if you really want to play it.
Yeah, I just Googled quick to find changes, and a lot of them also seem like things that are just like annoying to be like tailing and eavesdropping missions are revamped. Like, I know how those work on an old type of game. Like, I think I'll be fine with that. Man, that
they also apparently the original did not have crouching. So if you were doing stealth, you were just like always standing, except if you were in certain hiding spots.
Yes,
whereas in this one,
I do remember
this one you can crouch. You can crouch, which puts you into like a semi-hidden state.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't have time for it right now. I really want to play it right now, but
I guarantee within 6 to 9 months it's going to drop down into Game Pass.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
So I played that. Yeah. I played 12 to 13 hours. We're moving on. I played 12 to 13 hours of that. And actually, it was really nice because, again, just to bring things down, accident happened on a Saturday night. Very little news coming out for the next couple days. And I'm dog sitting both dogs, both the able one and the other one that basically can't move and has no bowel control. So he's just like shitting on the floor every 3 hours. So I basically was like, I can't leave the house for like these 2-3 days that I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I'm anxious, right? I'm just like, what's the news? What's the news? I know everybody's in the hospital. So I just played Black Flag and just kept playing Black Flag for hours and hours and hours. So it is a great time waster if you're looking for one of those. Not super satisfying as a time waster, but that's one of the good things about a map, I wouldn't say finely honed, but a tuned map barf game where it's just like, hey, you trying to spend dozens of hours here, plenty of shit for you to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The other game I've played is a game I started this on Tuesday, and I kind of feel bad, but I started it and they were like, hey, this game doesn't have a save system. You're supposed to play it in one playthrough and it takes 45 minutes. And I was like, I don't want to stream this. like for me, Tuesday is me teasing these games to the audience. And if they're really good, encouraging them to go buy it. And I didn't want to stream this entire game. So instead I played this yesterday night. This is called Control, I'm Not Coming Back. This came out recently. It's a little indie game on Steam. It's free. It's 45 minutes long. I think it took me about 30 minutes. It's been hitting the top of the review charts. And the basic premise is that you are an astronaut on a spaceship, and during the launch, things go wrong. And you're just kind of having to go through that experience and what that means for you. And it's a very artsy game. You're kind of just walking and talking to these weird characters. But it's just very well written, and it just ends up having these like nice visuals and music moments, and it ends up being like very upbeat and inspiring and inspirational of a game. So I want to give a shout out to that. I am going to put it on our GOTY list. Control, I'm Not Coming Back. You know, there's a lot of these games where they try and be like quick, short, artsy, and this one feels really good because it's a small game. It's quick, very well written, and it feels like they put their effort in the right spots in terms of they didn't make it too long. Everything in there feels like finely tuned and handcrafted. All the lines, all the specific areas that you're visiting, all the little story beats and things, all the little visuals, and it's just nice to play a little bite-sized one of those that just feels like really polished. You know, I'm almost picturing like, you know, like somebody making a painting, like a 4-inch by 4-inch painting, and they're just focusing on all the little details. And it's not a big painting, it's not a complicated painting, but they're just very fine-tuned, nailing all those little details. And you can look at it bite-sized and appreciate it. And that's what this feels like. Control, I'm Not Coming Back. And it's free, so go play it. And again, I think I started buttoning through the dialogue. I was still reading it, but I wasn't waiting for it to fully read out. And I got it done in like 30 minutes. So it's very quick. You can definitely knock it out. Here. Yeah, I finished twice. And then I started this morning. This is a game that was on a demo. And then Brad at Nextlander was talking about it, hyping it up a lot. And then you were talking about it and hyping it up. And I was like, man, I should probably get this on Steam sale and play it. And that is Forbidden Solitaire. I've only played maybe an hour of it so far. I've beaten the Spade Dungeon, which I think is 25% of the way through the game. And it's really good. There's some interesting stuff going on here. I think the things that really surprised me is that there are different types of solitaire. Well, I should say, for me, solitaire is like, oh, you've got to clear the board. And that's not necessarily true. They do have puzzle encounters where you have to clear the board, but you have plenty of tools to help you out with that. The fights are not about clearing the board. It's just building up combos. And you can reset the board or redo the board if you need to, or you get down to the end of it. So it's not about clearing the board. It's about getting combos to do damage against the other guy. And then there's other ones which are more like lock and key ones, which are a slightly different type of puzzle, but where you're like, oh, I've got to do things to unlock this area of the board and then that area of the board. And so it's really interesting to see them play with solitaire, but also not do the bullshit like 4-suit solitaire where it's super complicated, where you can only play spades on spades or something. Like it feels like they really understand what makes solitaire fun and what makes solitaire not fun, and have really kind of honed the game around that. And it's just got some real creepy vibe and setting to it. So I'm enjoying it so far. It's not as difficult as I thought it would be because I'm not good at real solitaire.
Yeah.
Like I always play like 1-suit spider solitaire. And it's fun playing through this so far. So I am enjoying that. Shout out to Forbidden Solitaire.
Real solitaire always pissed me off because it's like, oh, do you want us to deal you a solitaire deck, or do you want us to deal one that can be completed? And you're just like Motherfucker,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you talking
What
about?
do you mean? They should all be completed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I
it
get
should be
it
like
if you-
Sudoku or Picross. Like there should always be a solution.
Yeah. It annoys me. And I get it. It's left over from when you would play with an actual deck of cards. But still, like, I'm on a computer for a reason, sir. Madam.
Yeah.
Yeah, Forbidden
And I've already
Solitaire,
looked at
very
porn,
fun.
so what else is there to do?
Yeah, I'm already cranking. I'm half chucked. I've got 3. I didn't play any video games on my vacation. I read books.
Disgusting.
And I painted, and I made sweet, sweet love to my hands. And that's all I did. But I have been bouncing around 3 games this past week, and those 3 games are Vampire Crawlers. I'm playing more Vampire Crawlers. This is the Vampire Survivors dungeon crawler game. That is.
Have you not finished it? Because I thought it was only like 12 hours long. That's what I was hearing from people.
I had stopped around. There's like a dairy plant that I had stopped, and so I just just rebooted it up, and I've gone through a couple runs. I beat those. I don't know if they changed things or I was just playing better, but I've beaten a bunch of levels now, and I think I'm getting close to the end. It's fun. I really like the way that game works, especially when you get a good set of characters and you're comboing properly. And like I was comboing, I had gotten a guard down to -1, so I was going -1 all the way up to 5, and just getting like crazy combos, which was super. I had like 25 mana per turn, which was super fun. So yeah, I like Vampire Crawlers, and when I get bored of Vampire Crawlers after a run, I go do a run of Terratech Legion on my Steam machine.
Terratech Legion, play that.
Very fun.
Quick question: do we need to take a little Steam machine interlude? Because I also have been using my Steam machine. Side note: we have not come up with a name yet for fake DIY Steam machines because I don't feel right calling it a Steam machine.
You got a custom Steam machine.
It's not fun.
Terratech Legion, very fun. We talked about it before, right? It's a vampire survivors like, and you're building out the thing. Oh, I got some fucking crazy ass. I had like this whole front coming off with a Cat of Nine Tails flail and all the sides. The best part is there's a couple bosses that are just like big dudes. And so if I level up during a boss fight, I put all of my weapons on one side and just drift around the boss. Yeah, it's fun. And I've unlocked 3 characters now. I haven't played the 3rd character, but the 2nd character I really like because he has like these shield shells and just like this huge honking car. And you at any time you can like refund all the upgrades and swap them around. And each character, the money pool you have for each character is separate, so you're only getting money for the character if you're playing as them, which is nice. So you don't have to worry about overspending on one character and stuff like that. And you're earning stars and stuff throughout the map. It's just really good, really fun, and it's a great game. Steam Machine's doing well. I updated that the night after we did that opening stream. I booted up 007 and it was running like hot garbage, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, Dan was telling me he plays that 1440p. I even messaged him. I was like, what settings are you using? He's like, oh, make sure to switch it to 1440. And I did all this stuff. I was looking up YouTube videos. It was playing. It was chugging. It was awful. I restarted my Steam machine, and now it plays perfectly. So I think the old Steam machine just needed a restart. I think it had updated, and I probably hadn't restarted it, and it was...
Either that, or like, I've had this a couple times where a game you'll go to like exit game or quit game and it doesn't actually quit and it's still running in the background in that OS somewhere. So you may have had like games piled up, processes piled up in the background.
Maybe. So that's running great now, which is nice. And then I set up some EmuDeck stuff, was going through that on our Friday stream. So that's all basically working. I need to get more content over there and fill up that fucking 2 terabyte hard drive. And get some stuff going, but everything's running great. Terratech Legion I was playing. There were a couple games Karen was playing. I was just installing tons of games because either they were transferring from this computer over the network, or they were just small games. And we both played Ape Out for the first time, which is really fun. I never played it before, and you're just fucking throwing scientists and drums are playing. And
you're playing co-op 2 controllers?
No, that one was just one. We were just passing the controller back between runs.
Because Maggie has been playing Played Up a lot with the kids. Not my kids, other kids, related kids, niece and nephew. Let me put it that way. I'm playing Plate Up a lot with the niece and nephew. For some reason, they love Plate Up. So every time we go to their house, they're like, "Let's play Plate Up," and I'm like, "You fuckers play Plate Up. I'm done with that game." And anyways, so she was like, "I want to play more video games and play more co-op games with you." And so I booted up my fake Steam machine and I downloaded a bunch of co-op games. So we were playing like Pico Park, and we actually played Untitled Goose Game has co-op, which I forgot about. So we played that for like an hour. Unfortunately, I have lost all of my muscle memory from the speed runs. I was trying to show off, but show off just means I'm like holding a boot, slamming my head against a fence, and Maggie's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "I used to speed run this." So, but yeah, and it's nice because the adapter, I have a Bluetooth adapter or something that works pretty well, and so we just, both Xbox controllers are just hooked up to it. So actually we have an Xbox and a 8-bit Do controller. So yeah, it's cool to have a co-op PC box, which is fun. I will say, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I hate to keep shitting on SteamOS, but like there's two main problems I've had with it recently. One of them is minor, which is that is, they call it SteamOS, but it is still the Steam Deck software. like yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you open the quick menu on the right hand side, there's an airplane mode that you can turn on and off, and it's like, why is there an airplane mode in here? Like, it's for the Steam Deck, but like it's on a desktop. Like,
I mean, Windows 11 has an airplane mode, so it makes sense.
Yeah, but it's also one of those things where it's like they keep saying you can install SteamOS on any machine, and we've talked about this before, and it's like you can, but it's still not as easy as it should be compared to other OSs. And the other problem is I have like 5 Wi-Fi adapters, like USB Wi-Fi adapters, because the machine I'm using doesn't have Wi-Fi on the motherboard, and none of them work because the thing about Steam OS is that it's Linux. And anybody who tells you things just work on Linux are fucking liars, because I've gone down this hole several times. The only Wi-Fi adapters that work by default on Linux are ones where the driver is baked into the kernel of Arch OS, which is what SteamOS is based on. So you have to go find adapters with those specific chipsets and then buy one of those adapters, which means you're going to Amazon and looking at adapters and then having to scroll through them and be like, okay, I know you're an AC1200 Logitech, whatever, but what Wi-Fi chipset are you using to know if the driver's baked into the kernel? And then if you don't do that, and you can also go the other route, which is that you have to go through these forums and people were like, oh, well, I have this like hacked driver, and you just have to go into the terminal and run these like 3 commands to like download and install this hacked driver that may work for your adapter. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? So not to shit on Steam Machine, but just a word to the wise, like anybody who says like, yeah, replace Windows with Linux, you're good to go. You know, Bazite's amazing, SteamOS is amazing, it's plug and play. It's not, folks. Like, you got to have at least a little bit of PC tinkering experience to make this shit work. Otherwise it's just not going to work for you. So I just want to broadcast that before people start wiping their machines and trying to install SteamOS.
I will say SteamOS on an actual Steam machine, great, and I love it.
Yes, because it's built in, and I have no qualms with that. I haven't touched it, but that's the Apple way. We control the hardware and the software, so it's going to work. It's just the DIY Steam machine it's doable, but just be prepared for issues and problems.
Yeah. Or if your name's Ian, you'll have issues and problems. Everyone else is fine. I'm just kidding.
I had to spend $9 on a Wi-Fi adapter off Amazon.
You didn't just Ethernet
and I had to write. Well, no, it's in the living room, so I'd have to Ethernet.
Oh.
I'm out of Ethernet ports on the router. Even though the router's 5 feet away, I'm out of Ethernet ports. And so I had to buy one, and I had to write on their Linux so that I know I have a Linux native Wi-Fi adapter now. It's working now, at least.
I got, my router's next to my living room setup, so everything's just plugged right into it. And then there's one cable that comes all the way up here into a networking switch, or not switch.
Yeah, switch.
No, doesn't switch change between them? I don't know. There's one of those.
Switch is the good one. The other one is the bad one.
There's one that splits it. Yeah, splitters are the bad one. So that does everything up here, which is nice. Where was I? Yeah, TerraTech Legion. And then when we're watching soccer games, which has gone less now because today at 3 p.m. is the final, I've been playing Professor Layton, the Unwound Future, I think it is called, and that's been fun. I've slowly been getting better at the puzzles. I still think these puzzles are a lot. Either I'm stupider or these puzzles are a lot harder than the other games. But to be fair, this is the third game in the series, and they've had to come up with puzzles. So you can only do puzzles so many times, and it's still fun. There was one puzzle I did where I should send it to you. They were like, hey, here's this pattern. We've got these 5 types of tiles. You need to figure out which tile fits for the person to tile their bathroom floor or whatever. And you can't cover up this one. You can't flip the tiles, but you can rotate the tiles. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So the tile that ends up working is the answer, but there's another tile that also works. You just have to use more of it. But nowhere in the directions does it say it has to be the least amount of tile. So
But was it saying tile instead of tiles, and the answer is 1 tile?
No, it was like option. I don't know. Remember what it's. Option F fits, but it uses 6 tiles. Option D works, but it fits 4 tiles. But nowhere in there does it say the least amount of tiles. And it was saying like rotate and flip. And the problem was the shape that ended up the real answer shape is made up of the other answer shape. So you can just put that shape in there. So I was Googling it because I was like, someone's got to have an issue with this. And no one was. So maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know if it counted as flipping, but it was just a rotation. I don't know. I was kind of mad at that but I still got it right.
Speaking of Professor Layton, I need you to tell me, and take your time, when I go on my vacation in about a month's time, I do think I want to have one of these on my phone. So I need you to tell me which one I should put on my phone.
The first one is Curious Village. The first one I played was Pandora's Box, which is also
Curious Village is the one that I've played.
So then play Pandora's Box. This is the train one. Is Pandora's Box.
Have I played that one? I see. The thing is, I almost want to say neither of those because I know I've played at least one of those. I may have already played both of those.
Well, if you have played both of them, then just do Unwound Futures, the third one. It's the one I'm on.
Okay.
It's been fun so far.
And are you playing? You playing on your phone?
No, 3DS.
3DS. I also, again, we're at the end here. I don't mean to segue, but I think I'm going to take my Vita with me. To Hawaii because it's like it's like a 2-hour flight and then a 9-hour flight, and I'll be there for 8 days. So I've got gaming time, and I just haven't really done much with the Vita other than jailbreak it and install some stuff on there. So I think I'm going to take the Vita.
Smart.
So I know I need to play like Luftrausers on there. So I got to figure out which games I want to play. Maybe Patapon.
I did mean to mention when we were talking about the Steam Machine. It's also exciting to like Steam Deck to some extent. I could do this, but having a machine in the living room where I can play all of the co-op Steam games now, because now instead of Karen using her computer, which is a little older, she can sit on the couch and play games on there. We can also we've played Human Fall Flat forever, but we play the Xbox version, which isn't updated very often. So now we have the PC version we can play, which is updated very frequently and has all the community maps we can play, and just all those little co-op games where you're like, like anytime we play a game that isn't on Game Pass, it's like, you can play on the Steam Machine now. You don't have to like boot up her computer, and because it's that old Department of Games computer, and sometimes it screams because it was poorly put together by 2 nerds, and it's just like, now she can use the Steam Machine, sit on the couch, relax,
Well, so the crazy thing is you're saying that, but I thought you were going to go Steam Machine is now a retro box that you can easily hook any number of controllers to. So like if I wanted to play,
I mean that too.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about it where I'm like, if I want to play Mario Kart Wii for whatever reason, Mackie and I could sit down and play Mario Kart Wii. That way I don't have to bring the Wii out or anything.
Yeah. So there's that. Like the Steam Machine will definitely be my Dreamcast and up console. Probably a little N64, and then like Superstation with my old Mr. card will now be all the retro stuff, and then AYN Thor is like smaller games. Like I've started a lot of PS2 games on the AYN Thor, and they run great, but I'm just like, I'd rather kind of sit back on the couch and play one of these. and so I'll have to like transfer some stuff, and it's fun. Um, that's it for the games we've been playing. I really need. I haven't had a ton of time to play games because every time I have free time, it's like, oh, let me like reorganize my office a little bit. I'm officially. You can mourn for me. I'm officially gonna take down some model making stuff, and rework my, because I haven't built a model in like probably 2 years.
Well, it's just you say your model making stuff, but we don't need to do any more segues. I was just saying, like, I don't have model making stuff. I just have like a tool place where I can use those tools for a variety of projects, whether it's electronics or whatever.
I do too, but I have those 2 makeup bins that are out.
Yeah.
And those are filled with like, you know, toothpicks, little sanders, little things like specific things I will use for like building Gundams and stuff like that. And those things I think I can better place. So, because I want to get to the point where that workbench has nothing on it at all times. And then I can always come to it and everything's hanging and just like, it could be my tool bench.
Like similar to mine, yeah.
Yeah, eventually that's probably going to go into the basement with all my actual tool stuff, and I'm going to set up my actual tool room down there once this becomes a child's room.
And that should be fine. I was thinking like, oh, the humidity, and then I realized, no, that's really just a Florida problem where you can't really put tools outside in Florida because the humidity will rust them. But you should be fine.
Yeah. So, and then, also like...
Should we do one more model stream before you move things?
Yeah, we can do a model stream. That's fine.
Maybe Tuesday.
It's not like it's going very far. It's just like they're just not going to be out.
It's also easier to do that stream now.
Yeah, totally. I've upgraded a lot of stuff in here. For those, I didn't talk about a lot. My uncle passed away 2 years ago, October 2 years ago, and unfortunately, which sucked.
It's too late. I'm not going to give you sympathy. That's too long ago.
So I
feel like I did at the time anyways, so you're double dipping right now.
It's one of those people in your lives who dies, and you're still mad. I'm still mad at all
that stuff.
I'm
being really
no.
But
that's
to be clear, 2 years. I think I'm allowed to.
No, yeah, you're fine. Listen, I'm still mad at him. I'm so mad.
No, I get it.
Because he was such a great guy for passing away. Like. He was only 70. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, you did all the electronic stuff.
Only 70?
You helped out with so much shit, and I really liked you, and I'm still pissed about it. But anyways, I got some fucking great drawer setup that you can't... Here, let me pan my camera. These fucking drawers?
Oh, yeah, that is nice. Are those the metal ones?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about the lids, but yeah, metal's good.
I'm keeping paint in those fuckers. So I'm setting everything up to have more of a painting studio, because it's at this point I'm in the oil painting hobby where it's just like I just need to paint once a week and like start honing my skill rather than painting once a month and being like, why aren't I getting better?
You're at the practice stage.
And I'm reading books about painting now, and it's just like... Can I
say something? Somebody posted this on TikTok, and it's such a great idea. I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't quite have the space for it, but they were like, hey, what if you're a nerd and you're into a bunch of different hobbies, and like you have a bunch of different projects going on at the same time? They're like, but you only have like 1 or 2 workbenches. Like, how do you keep your workbench clear when you got all these projects in progress? And they're like, I just bought one of those kitchen racks where you just put half sheet or full sheet pans, so every project is its own full sheet, and when it's on hiatus you just slide it into the rack. And I was like, damn, that's very good. I should do that too. Yeah, it's great.
I don't have it up here, but it's, on my vacation I wanted to build a plein air panel holder, because when you're out you want to put it away so it doesn't smudge and everything. So I ordered a bunch of corrugated plastic to my parents' house, because there's like this online thing of how to easily slice the sections of it and it just folds up and you can build it. And I built a pretty nice one, but my nephew became obsessed with corrugated plastic. He's like, he built a little tugboat out of it. And he kept every time he's like, "Oh, Will, what are you doing with your corrugated plastic?" And we were at my aunt's, because that's where we were staying, and we're going through my uncle's stuff. And he was like, "Oh, Aunt Ann, Did Paul have any corrugated plastic that I could have?
Good for him. He's gonna be a little maker for sure.
And so he literally, her fridge door was a little loose. He went up and looked at it, told her the Allen key she needs. She got it for him, and he went and fixed it. And her handle, and he brought it back down. And he's like, Auntie Ann, make sure you mark this one for the fridge. This is the one you use to tighten the fridge.
Yeah.
And she couldn't believe it. How old is he?
Like 22, 23?
Yeah, 23. He's 7.
Oh, that's really good. That's good.
So yeah, it's a good thing he's on our side for the Civil War.
Yeah. I hate to rush things, but I do kind of get out of here.
I do too. Can we? I gotta go swim in a pool and then watch.
Oh, disgusting.
The game.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
Let me hit this button. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been an episode of Local Chat. Thank you, Waddle, for hanging out. We will be back later this week with tons of fun stuff. We've got Tuesday. We've got more Kingdom Hearts. We've got all sorts of things that you can tune into. I don't have anything going on this week, so don't talk to me at all. You can find us subpixelfilms.com, patreon.com/subpixel. I am still working on that Patreon post. I wrote about half of it and then completely forgot. Well, the problem was I had a great idea, and when I went to go write it, completely didn't have the idea anymore. So I wrote about half of it, and then we were busy, so I was like, I'll just wait for Ian to yell.
We can throw it up sometime this week. I was like, should I yell at him? Like, he knows. The thing is,
I knew the whole time. I know. I was stressing about it, so don't worry. I had the anxiety. Anyways, we'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.